Perfect. So really, really quickly, this is your introductory course or your transition course into A-level biology at the Wren. Who out there wants to let me know why you have chosen A-level biology or why you would like to study A-level biology? Let me know. Feel free to put a message in. To get into uni, I love that. I love that page. Awesome. Okay, what's the future plan after uni? What is there a career pathway to? Paramedic, awesome. Fabulous, yes. We tend to find that A-level biologists either want to go down the medical pathway or the ecology pathway. So you either want to save the world via medicine or you want to save the world via agriculture and things like that. So fabulous, cool. So if we have a quick look then, just a little bit of an overview. There's loads and loads of different reasons to study A-level biology. As it says here, biology A-level will give you the skills to make connections and associations with all living things, because like I bang on about all the time, biology literally means the study of life. And if that's not important, I don't know what else is. It is extremely broad as a topic. You're bound to find a specific area of interest, and it opens loads and loads of doors to lots of different and interesting careers. Many people use AS or A-level biology in their future studies. Even if you don't decide to work in biology, studying it will help develop useful and transferable skills. So if you don't specifically want to do biology as a career, there's lots of skills that you learn in the A-level that will help you with future careers in other areas as well. Namely, things like developing your research skills, lots of problem solving, any analytical skills, alongside teamwork and communication. So any of you that are interested in doing biology and psychology, they work really well hand in hand. All those problem solvings and the analytical skills are widely used across both of those sciences. But on the flip side, if you go into medicine and you want to do biochemistry, again, a lot of the skills that you learn in biology will then aid some of the stuff that you do in chemistry as well. So universities and businesses all regard all of these skills really, really highly. So good luck, Paige. Doing A-level biology will help you get into university. Yay. Okay, so next steps, possible degree options. So obviously you do your A-level in biology, and where does that take you? So the top 7 degree courses taken by students who have done A-level biology are the following. So they might just continue to go on to biology, and as already mentioned, they might want to do a degree in psychology. My degree is in psychology, it works hand in hand. Lots and lots of people also go into sport and exercise. We've already mentioned medicine or anatomy, physiology and pathology and pharmaceuticals, or taxology and pharmacy chemistry. So this is not an exhaustive list, but there's lots and lots of different degree options out there. And these will then follow through onto things like studying for careers such as being a doctor, molecular genetics, pharmacies, research scientists, veterinary. And the whole reason I started getting really into science is because I initially wanted to be a vet. Big up the secondary school teachers, it's the best job in the world. Marine biologists, dentists, lots and lots of different career options. So actually by doing A-level biology, it opens the career pathway to loads and loads of different pathways for you to take. So just to give you a little bit of an overview of the specification. So over the course of the 2 years, it is split directly down the middle as year 1 and year 2. And you get 4 topics in year 1 that you study and 4 topics in year 2. So as it says, year 1, you kind of follow through on a lot of the stuff that you've done at key stage 4. So all of the GCSE content that you already know. We'll look a little bit deeper at biological molecules. So things like carbs and lipids, fats, proteins, what they are, how they're formed, how we can test for them, cell biology, but we'll look a little bit in more detail at cells. Obviously, you know what plant cells and animal cells and eukaryotic cells and prokaryotic cells are, but you just look at their ultrastructure. So you look a little bit finer at the different parts of cells. Organisms exchange surfaces and substances. So that's things like gaseous exchange. Anybody that wants to go into sort of the medical side of things, you learn all about your cardiac cycle, how your heart rate works, how your lungs and your gaseous exchange system work. But you do that in animals. So you will look at humans, but you also look at fish, you also look at insects. So it's quite an interesting topic. Genetic information is the last section on year 1. So genetic information, variation, and the relationship between organisms. And that's always really nice because that tends to be what you finish your year 1 content on. And as the summer months are coming in, we do lots of relationships between organisms outside. So we can go and do some field work out in the school grounds as well and look at different bits and pieces outside, which is cool. And that leads us on to year 2. So if you then go and continue on to year 2, you'll then look at energy transfers between organisms. So that's photosynthesis and respiration. And again, it kind of just delves a little bit deeper into what you already know at key stage 4 level, but we look at sort of the chemistry and the physics behind how photosynthesis occurs and how respiration occurs. You then look at organisms responding to change in their internal and external environments. So the homeostasis stuff, again, that you learn at key stage 4, you build on, you understand a little bit more about the kidneys and dialysis, how your eyes work, how your liver works. So it's a really interesting topic because it kind of shows you exactly how the human body works, which is fab. Again, we look at genetics in a little bit more detail, populations, evolution and ecosystems. Again, we have a good look at Darwin and how he proposed the theory of evolution. And then also we finish off your entire A-level looking at the control of gene expression. So things like the genome project and the human genome and how much biotechnology has evolved over the years to allow us to do the research and bits and pieces that we do now. Any questions so far? Was everybody good? I'm taking silence as everybody's good. So I'm just going to crack on. All good, cool, thanks Ella. So this is the bit that everybody's really interested in. Not, no, so at the end of year 1, you have 2 assessments. You have paper 1 and paper 2. At the Wren, currently, we don't do these as official external exams. They are in-house exams, but you still have to sit paper 1 and paper 2 at the end of year 1 to assess all the knowledge that you have learned throughout that year. Both papers are pretty much, as you can see here, exactly the same. They're weighted exactly the same. They're over the exactly the same content. It's just you have paper 1 and paper 2 that you need to sit. Then we have year 2. In year 2, it's slightly different. The format's slightly different. Paper 1 in year 2 is chapters 1 to 4. So that's all of your year 1 content. Paper 2 is chapters 5 through 8. So all of your year 2 content. And then you also have paper 3. Now you'll see down here at the bottom of paper 3, you have a 25-mark essay as part of paper 3. That can be on a whole range of different things. You'll get a couple of titles that you can choose from. But don't worry, we're going to do lots and lots of practice with our exam skills, which will be really, really useful for you. Throughout the whole course, it's not as though we don't do any assessment throughout the whole course. You'll still do end of topic tests, and we'll do most lessons. We build in exam practice, so we'll get lots and lots of sort of exposure to the exam practice all the way through the course. So that we can not only track to see how you're doing, but also so that when it comes to sitting paper 1 and paper 2 and paper 3 at the end of year 2, that you aren't like, oh no, I don't know what I'm doing. You will be absolutely fine. So that's kind of the nitty gritty assessment bit out of the way and the topics that we cover. Also, the fun bit throughout the year or the course of the 2 years, you have to complete a practical assessment. So over the course of the 2 years, you will participate in 12 different required practicals. Now, they're very similar in same format as the required practicals at a GCSE level. they focus on different CPAC skills. CPAC stands for Common Practical Assessment Criteria. And the reason we do these is if you then do decide to go on to do a degree or you go to university, you've already had lots of practice on the skill set that is needed to carry out practicals at that level. As I said, over the course of the 2 years, you will do a whole range of different practicals from aseptic technique. You will go and do some quadrats outside. You'll develop your own research skills. You will do chromatography. You will look at beetroot membranes, a whole host of different things to help you with your practical skills. Now, you must have mastery of all of these skills at the end of the year or at the end of the course, okay, to gain your practical endorsement. And it says A-level chemistry on there. It's meant to say A-level biology, my bad. Also, what will it be assessed on? So this is your ability to follow written instructions. So any of the instructions that are given, again, at A-level, it tends to be that you get, again, we've got an A-level book that's similar to the GCSE book, if you were here at the Wren, that you would have seen with all your instructions. But because you are now that next stage up, you will be given your set of instructions and I will be assessing how well you can follow those written instructions without me kind of telling you exactly what you need to do. Your ability to apply investigative skills and approaches with methods and using different equipment and instruments. A lot of the equipment and instruments that you use at A-level are a lot more advanced than the stuff that you would have used at Key Stage 4. Lots and lots of different materials, how you can make and record your observations. And again, that's really important. I think a lot of the time when you have done any practical work up until now, you will have an example set of data or something if it doesn't quite go right. It's making sure that you understand what you're doing and make and record the appropriate observations for those. And then you will be doing lots of researching, referencing and reporting as well. So the practical endorsement is really, really fun. As I said, we get to do things like fish dissections and all sorts. It is very fun. Cool. So that's kind of the assessment part out the way. Are we still all good? Anybody got any questions so far? Again, I'm just going to take that silence as that we're all good. Okay, so first and foremost, obviously, those of you that are here at the Wren, you studied combined science. Now, a really big thing that I have noticed this year is those that don't study triple science at GCSE level, there is a little bit of content that you don't cover unless you do the triple science or separate sciences. I have listed all of these things on this slide for you, okay? And these slides will be shared with you. They'll be on the website and they will be shared with you. If you have a quick look at the top here, I'm going to talk a little bit more about Seneca and Oak National Academy shortly. Those of you that were at home doing all of your distance learning through lockdown will have good experience of those two things. I have popped on links, so you just need to click on those to a Seneca assignment that's got all of this triple content in there for you to have a look at. And again, the Oak National Academy, there's lessons to do with all of these things. It might look like a lot of stuff, but actually they're just kind of little subheadings for little sections. And a lot of the time you will have already done some of the grounding sort of information. So for example, in inheritance, variation and evolution, you will have looked at sexual and asexual reproduction. There's just tiny bits on the specification that is triple only content. So one of the things that I would like you to do between now and your next session is to go and have a look at that Seneca assignment that I've set for you, just to go over some of the triple content that you might not have been exposed to so far. And I assume that everybody in here knows how to use Seneca. So, and I know some of you absolutely love it. I know some of you don't like it too much, but it's there for you to use. We then have got lots and lots of different pages that you can have a look at for some help between now and start time. So really good places to go for help. first and foremost, and I use the AQA teachers website with my students all the time. Again, I have hyperlinked all of these things for you. So when you go through this PowerPoint, you can just click on the links. The AQA website is probably the best place to start. First and foremost, you have the specification. Now, when you come and you join us in September, the first bit of home learning that you have is to print out the specification. The reason for this is, as it says, it explains exactly what you need to learn for your A-level, and it also shows you and kind of gives you a breakdown, and it's a really good way, I find it a really good way of setting out our lessons, guiding you to what you need to know, and it really, really helps with revision. Also on the AQA website, there's loads and loads of practice exam papers and past papers, lists of command words. So again, something that is a real flaw with A-level biology is the amount of stuff, I wouldn't say it's a flaw, but the amount of specific key terms that you need to know. So the AQA website has got a really good list of all those command words for the specific biology vocab that you need. Practical handbooks that are there to help out with our CPACs, but also it shows you things like how to draw a biological drawing correctly in bits and pieces. It looks as though I put past papers and mark Steve's on there twice, but then you have your math skills support as well. Next slide. I've also put some links in here. So the Royal Society of Biology is a really good place to go for anything to do with biology. A-levels, the student room is great. It's kind of like a forum where lots and lots of students go, and we'll throw some ideas around, or if you've got a question about something, it's sort of peer interaction, so you can speak to each other. And then my favourites, the Amoeba Sisters. If you click on that button there, it takes you directly to the Amoeba Sisters YouTube channel. They have got some really, really great videos that explain some really sort of detailed processes like protein synthesis in sort of a nice format, a nice cartoon format, which makes it a little bit easier to understand. I'm a proper advocate for Amoeba Sisters. I use them in my lessons all the time as well. So feel free to go and have a look at those. Textbooks, while you're here, you will have access to a digital copy of the biology textbook. We have got a few in school, so if we're ever doing textbook work from school or you need it as a reference point here, then you can come and borrow one from the science room, but you will have access to all of them on online as and when you start the course. If you do want to have your own version, I like to write in a textbook. All of my textbooks I scribble all over and I highlight in bits and pieces. So I have put the ISBN there for you if you would like to have a look. Also, something that I find really useful in teaching is the CPG revision guides. I know lots of you use these for GCSE. And they also have one for A-level. And there's an exam board exam practice book, which is the white book behind, which has got really, really good exam practice questions in there as well. So it's quite useful to use those alongside. Cool. So before we go on to general expectations, any other questions? Or are we good? Cool. That I assume that means that I'm making complete sense. So just really quickly to reiterate as well, obviously when you start at A-level, more of the onus on attending lessons and things falls to you. You are being treated with a lot more respect at school, but it is essential that you attend every lesson. And if you can't attend your lessons for any reasons, because of illness or sickness or for any other reason, then you must let me know that you are absent. So you liaise with your teacher and you catch up on any work that is missed. It's really down to you and your responsibility to action this. Now, you will have a team set up with your teacher, with myself and whoever else might be teaching you to and all of the lessons that are taught will be put into that team. So it'll be kind of similar to how we did through lockdown. You'll have all the lessons put in there, but it is absolutely your responsibility to catch up on any missed work. It is also absolutely essential that you keep a well-organised folder that contains all of your notes, All of your CPAC tracking, so all of the practical work that you do need to be in there. All of your topic assessments, any homework. And the reason it's so important that you have this is because you do have routine folder checks from myself and any other teachers that you may have. It's really, really important for us to keep a record of what you're doing, but also for you to keep a record of what you're doing in a nice organized manner, so that when it does come to end of topic tests and things, again, you know exactly where to go. Now, obviously, when you're doing schoolwork during years 7 to 11, you are provided with textbook, exercise books and bits and pieces, whereas now you will be, it would be your responsibility to have your own folders. As it says here, it's recommended by AQA that every hour spent in the classroom, you spend a further hour on independent study. Now, that could be completing homework set, can be summarising your class notes or reading ahead. This will be 4 hours per week. Now, when it says independent study, that doesn't mean I'm going to wait until I get home to do this. If you have a free period, it's not a free period. You will be down in the sixth form centre and you will use that time down there to do some of your additional independent study. We've got some really good spies down there as well to make sure that everybody is doing what they should be doing at all times. And as I said earlier, with the textbooks, if you are in school and you have an independent study session and you want to come and borrow a textbook for the hour, then you are more than welcome to do that. Cool. So next. Oh yeah, before I go on to that bit, and I will add a slide in. So the expectations as well for you to be able to access the course, it is absolutely essential that on this next slide that you put your absolute wholehearted effort into completing all of these things for me. Now, it might sound like a huge list of things to do, but actually over the summer holidays, and if you break it down, it will be nice and easy for you to work through. So anybody that is doing chemistry or any of the sciences as well, or have applied to, you will see that we are all wanting to use Cornell notes. This will really benefit you for A-level study, namely because rather than having to write absolutely everything down that you see on a slide or on a screen or in a textbook, it's a really good method of note taking and making sure that you've got the essential takeaways from each lesson. So you're going to do a little bit of research on Cornell notes for me. What I would also like you to do is to work through the GCSE to A-level section on Seneca. Now, I've put a link there. I have made a class for this transition session. So if you could add yourself to that class, and then there's a couple of assignments in there for you to have a look at. One of them is due for our next session. So for the next session that you will have next week, one of the assignments is due for then. The other that's all to do with your triple biology content, I have left on there until September. It's really important that you go through those bits and make sure that you are up to scratch on all of those different sections that we mentioned earlier. I'd also like you to revisit any biology paper 1 content to identify any topics that you wish to revise or revisit at the beginning of the A-level in both paper 1 and paper 2. We've already talked about all the GCSE triple biology content. And then I would also like you to have a quick look. I've attached the induction task booklet. This will be due in for the first week that you start in term 1 in September. It's just sort of like a little booklet to work through using all of the information to do with A-level, sort of your transition to A-level, and to prepare you for the world of A-level biology in September. The A-level, the induction booklet, I will attach, it is attached here. So it is a PDF that I've attached. So you should be able to click on it and it should open up. If not, it will be attached to any work that's, when this goes onto the website, I believe. I need to make sure that I attach it properly, but you will be able to find it there. Well, that's kind of where we're at. That's where I'm at. Any questions for anybody? No. feel free to email me if you have got any questions between now and then, and you are not, or if something pings up later and you want to give me a shout later, then feel free to email me and I will endeavour to email you back as soon as possible. Yeah, so I believe that all of the PowerPoints or all of the displays that you've had this week will be uploaded onto the school website, and also any work that is being set for you is being attached to each subject. If you bear with me, I can find out and I can drop you an email later if that's okay. Oh, there you go. And they'll be on the Ring YouTube channel. Thanks, Sasha. Fabulous. Okay, well, if there's no other questions or any, you're all good to go. Go and have a look at those Seneca things that I've asked you to do, and have a look through that induction task booklet as well. And I will let you enjoy the rest of your Thursday. So currently year 12s will have myself and Mrs. Mendy, from what I know off the top of my head, but that's not hard and fast set in stone yet. We haven't had our time to yet. You'll definitely have me. It's just our second teacher that we're querying at the moment. Cool. Fabulous. Okay then, guys, we'll go and enjoy the rest of your day, and I will hopefully see you all very soon. Take care. Bye.